There we go. All right. So now I can officially welcome us to Ask Me Anything Live. All right. How can I help you, Larissa?
Okay. So it's come to my awareness recently that with PayPal, it's very easy for people to basically file a dispute about a payment that they've made and get their money back, even if it's completely unsubstantiated.
Yep.
So I was just wondering if one, like, obviously, like, I have terms and conditions, and providing evidence and whatnot is as much as possible is
Mm-hmm.
definitely a factor. But I just wonder too, like, if what else beyond that can you do, and if PayPal is actually enabling people to commit fraud, is there anything
Mm.
else we can do outside of their system? Because it's like their system seems to very strongly favor the customer or the purchaser,
Mm.
even when it's completely false.
Yes. So let me ask you a couple things about your terms. Are they just general website terms and conditions? Do you have
No.
terms of purchase specific to your
Yes.
purchase? Okay.
Yeah. Hmm.
Um, are they forced to acknowledge those when they go to buy? Do they have to click a
Yes, there's
box?
a checkbox.
They
Yeah.
do. Okay.
Hmm.
So all of that you should be able to show PayPal. So I would screenshot your sales page where they actually can't purchase until they click that box.
Hmm.
Hopefully there's a hyperlink or some way that you can see that that directly, connects over to your terms of purchase. And then assuming that your terms of purchase, and I forget, have you been through my program? You haven't, have you? No, assuming your terms of purchase, because I don't know, like I can't speak to the language that's
Right.
in them. And so a lot of whether or not something goes one way or another way depends on what language shows up, how clear the refund policy is, anything else that they're disputing. Do you know what the basis of their dispute is?
Um, they filed two disputes. One was that it would said unknown, or it was other something, which
Mm,
doesn't mean anything. And then the second one was that the service was not provided, which is not true, because I provided evidence of engagement for
mhm,
all of the things that they received. So
mhm. And was it through a
definitely.
membership site? Were they showing
Yeah.
up to calls? It was membership site. Okay, so you
Yeah.
have those
And
records.
calls. Yeah. And both. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
basically, you just want to lay it out as clearly and easily as possible. And have you already submitted this stuff or you're getting ready
Yeah.
to? You've
No,
already
I've
submitted
already
it.
done that. That
Yeah.
was a while ago.
Like here's the checkout page, here's the order form. Has PayPal made a decision?
Not
No.
yet.
Yeah. So, the other thing, I mean, and if it's hard when they're disputing that the service wasn't delivered, right? It's good that you've got digital records of that. For other people where there's no way to prove that somebody showed up and consumed it, right? It tends to be kind of more of a he said, she said.
Hmm.
But you are in a much better position being able to show your whole, the whole checkout system, the check the box. Hopefully you provided screenshots of that.
No, that's the only thing that you said that I didn't provide the
Mm-hmm.
checkbox, but I did provide a link to the terms and conditions, because I kind of, like, it was implied that when you register, these
Mm-hmm.
are the and conditions for this program. So I did
Well, I
include
would jump
that.
back in and submit additional information and just say, I forgot to tell you this, but it's
Hmm.
mandatory that they acknowledge these terms before they're
Hmm.
even able to buy. So it wasn't like the terms are a surprise. They're available to them before they even click through to purchase. Here's my
Okay.
refund policy. This person did show up and consume all the content or whatever your records show.
Hmm.
And so, and then it just depends, right? I mean, in terms of purchase and having kind of your ducks in a row, which it sounds like you do, put you in a much better position to have a favorable outcome. But, sometimes people still get unfavorable decisions. It just depends on what the other side is saying, what the claims are. There's a lot that you have to look at.
Hmm.
Um, the one thing that I will share, because depending on how else you've got like your checkout page set up, let me just I've got an article on friendly fraud, this is friendly fraud. It's chargeback fraud.
Nothing friendly about it.
There's nothing friendly about it. Nope. You'll see that right in my article. It's like, I don't know who labeled this, but it accounts for 86% of online credit card fraud. So it's a very, very high percentage that people purchase and then they just request a chargeback, even though they've consumed the thing and they've taken delivery. But to the extent that you can examine your existing checkout system, you might just go click through, because this gives you 9 or 10 things to check on to see if you can build in some additional, ways of like capturing their IP address, capturing data, like doing all of the data collection at the point of checkout that you need to do to prove nobody else used your credit card. You know what I mean? Because some people will do that. Like, we don't know what this charge is. We didn't do it. And you can actually trace the charge back to like somebody had to have the CVV code and somebody was sitting literally at your IP address, which is at your house. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So check that article for moving forward to see if there are some ways that you can build additional support in. But yeah, it's the chargeback request process is not a fun one to defend against.
Yeah, and it's shocking to me that it's like so many like people get away with it so easily, you know, that in the presence of, you know, a plenitude of evidence against it, that they still like, it's almost an enabling process. So I was like, how is this even legal? Like, how can PayPal even do this?
Well, and credit cards are the same way. They've got a 6-month window where you can dispute a charge, right? And then they I think have 90 days or something to investigate and take action. And so it's, it's, you do the best that you can, but it's, these places that have millions of consumers using their credit lines and their payment processing systems, they want to be protective of the consumers. But, to the extent that you've got all your stuff in a row, it certainly will help. Like, there's a chance that PayPal comes back and says, nope, you delivered it, they paid for it. I don't know what your terms say as far as refunds or anything else, but to the extent that it's clear, that will help you.
Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah. Sorry about that. That's a bummer.
Yeah, very unpleasant.
I know. So unfortunate. Oh, and the chargeback, the number of chargebacks that we're seeing is on the rise this year because of COVID. People get desperate for money and then they just look at easy ways to try to get money back. And so it's really unfortunate. I had a friend who didn't have a contract in place and she delivered one-on-one services like over the course of like 6 months or a year or something long term. And it was like $12,000 that the credit card company just gave back to the client. Wow. Yeah. After she delivered everything that she agreed to deliver. Wow. Yeah. It's really, really unfortunate. So contracts, one-on-one client service agreements, like people just need to have their documents in order.
Okay. So definitely check out that blog post.
Yeah, do go take a look. Let me know if you have any additional questions, but hopefully that can help you maybe bolster, what you've got in place as far as a checkout system. If there's any other functionality you can turn on that will help you protect against future chargebacks, it might be helpful.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right, you're welcome. Good to see you, Larissa. I'm so sorry about that. Good luck. Okay, talk to you later. All right, quiet today. People are all probably discombobulated after the election. I know I am. Still recovering. All right, I'll hang out for just a minute if somebody else pops on, and then I'm going to sign off and go do some work.